I had an interview with a very important neurosurgeon called Ana Pastor. She was the first woman neurosurgeon professor in Spain.
So how can we protect doctors from the burnout and compassion fatigue with the help of humanism? And in total, how can we achieve a holistic health for doctors and patients both?
Women general practitioners at the age of 40, there's about 40% leave the profession. And this is a disaster. You say, what culture or what part of India? I think, no, it's the multiplicity of cultures, the multiplicity of peoples, of religions, of cultures, of languages, food. I mean, I'm feeling really privileged now to be eating the food. The food is fantastic.
Just one last small question. What one piece of advice would you give to the doctors? I would like to hear from you, sir. You talk about narrative medicine. So narration is an art. And how can we use this art for delivering the medicine, or what it means to be a narrative medicine?
Well, narrative medicine is, I would say, is an antidote to evidence-based medicine. Okay. So we have evidence-based medicine and narrative-based medicine. So an antidote in terms of, I think the key to good medicine and the key to being a good doctor is have a balanced approach. So we need to balance the evidence with the stories. And narrative-based medicine is about stories. So if you are a patient, I want to know about your story. I want to know who you are, why you come here. I had an interview with a very important neurosurgeon called Ana Pastor. She was the first woman neurosurgeon professor in Spain. And she said a patient came in with the x-ray. Here's my x-ray. And Ana Pastor said, no, I don't want to see your x-ray. I want you to tell me how you feel. I want to know your story.
Yes.
Doctors need to listen. I talked about this yesterday.
Yes.
Doctors need to listen.
Whatever you are doing, that act of compassion has to be there. Even if you are treating your patients, even if you are technically handling the things, still that gesture of compassion and act of empathy has to be there. That is,
you know, it's very interesting. I see the book Humanism in Surgery behind, and I'm very proud of this book. And Manuel Perez is a professor in surgery in Barcelona, and he is a beautiful technical surgeon, a very able technician with his hands. But he goes to see the patient before, and you know what he does? He draws, very often draws, a drawing of the operation he's going to do. Because you know that patients are worried and nervous, and sometimes they don't understand. He said, don't worry, I will draw what we will do. And then he does the operation, and then he sees the patient afterwards. So it's a journey that the doctor needs to accompany the patient. The patient needs the presence of the doctor throughout the journey. It's not a question of doing the operation and say, okay, off I go.
yes.
It's really important.
Yeah.
And the accompaniment, the presence throughout the journey of illness. Why is it important? I've been a patient. I don't know whether you've been a patient. I hope not. But maybe you have. But in the end, we will all be patients. So if a doctor or a healthcare practitioner can feel this about the other person, we will all be the other person. We will all be sick one day.
Yes.
Which is not a bad thing. No?
Yeah. As you said, there is not always a completely white or black thing. There can be gray colors of life all over. So everyone can be a patient. So on that note, as we say, with the current changing lifestyles of every human being, and so is for the doctors, and doctors are becoming workaholic, and they are getting stressed every now and then. They have to face the challenges of the competition that they are facing in the field, also in the healthcare system. So how can we protect doctors from the burnout and compassion fatigue with the help of humanism? And in total, how can we achieve a holistic health for doctors and patients both?
This is a big question. This is a big question, but so important. I will give you two answers.
Okay.
The first answer is that in the Hippocratic Oath, it says, know thyself. So the doctor needs to know themselves. Secondly, the doctor has a tendency, I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, to not look after themselves. The doctors sometimes think that they are superhumans, only the patients get ill.
Yeah.
No.
True
The
that.
doctors need to look after themselves. There is a horrifying burnout in all professions, medical professions in all countries, but I was given a general practitioner in the northeast of England told me that women general practitioners at the age of 40, about 40% leave the profession. And this is a disaster. So the doctors need, and the medical students need to look after themselves with little moments of compassion, with little moments of thinking about yourself, with little moments of doing whatever, sport, music, whatever. This is the individual. But healthcare systems need to be compassionate. And this is probably a bigger challenge, but not an impossible challenge. We need to make sure that there is a climate of compassion in the institution so that everyone feels that they are valued and respected.
Yes.
It's not a question of money. It's not a question of, it's a question of respect for the other. It's a question of dignity. This is not difficult. I don't think this is so difficult. Maybe I'm optimistic, maybe I'm very hopeful, but I don't think it's so difficult to respect the other person and to build this climate.
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you think?
Yes, absolutely, sir. I also believe in the same. I am also one of the optimistic person, and what I feel is the way you respect others and you respect yourself, that gives a sense of fulfillment and content to somebody, which gives a peaceful mind and which may protect somebody from burnout or maybe any kind of mental fatigue. That is what my opinion is.
It's a very big problem, and we need to counter it. But love yourself.
Yeah.
Love yourself. Learn to love yourself. We can do it.
Thank you for that, sir. So with this note, that we are implementing humanism in the medical practice. Sometimes we get carried away with the emotions that we are getting involved into the story of patient. And sometimes our mind says, no, you have to stick to your medical principles. So how do we achieve the right balance between humanism and medical professionalism? So being a doctor myself, when I was an intern, I used to get emotionally involved with the patients. And I used to get carried away with them. And I used to feel bad for what suffering they are going through.
Yeah.
But that should not affect my professionalism. That is what I feel. And that's my question. How to achieve
It's a great
balance?
question. It's a great question. I remember yesterday seeing The Good Doctor. And so this was the topic of, one of the topics of that is, by the way, using film and cinema is really important in medical education, I feel. Traditionally, doctors have been taught that the professional distance is important. Traditionally, doctors have been taught that the professional distancing is important for themselves. I think this is changing. So I think that doctors are human beings. And doctors are beautiful human beings, are very passionate human beings. That is one of the main reasons they go into medicine. So it's important sometimes for the doctors to show their emotions. Because if a doctor shows their emotions, they can help the patient. A doctor needs to touch the patient. When it is necessary, the doctor needs to hug the patient. This goes against the traditional method. So the question of balance is the perfect question, because I think that the whole of medicine is about balance.
Yes.
And I'm sure you agree with me, because the ancient Ayurvedic tradition in India is about balance. So a friend of mine who is a professor in Johns Hopkins said, imagine the meter in a hybrid car. Sometimes it goes to the petrol, sometimes it goes to the electric. It depends on the situation. This is the same with when the doctor should go close to the patient and hug or show affection for the patient and move away.
Yeah.
So it's also, you could talk about it as the blood-brain barrier. It's permeable.
Yeah.
Goes back and forwards.
Yeah.
This is the best way I could feel I can express that question, answer that question.
That's really great to know, sir. I'm sure everybody must be getting connected to this, that one should identify in themselves that where I have to be professional and where it needs to be a humanistic approach. That probably...
You know it.
Yeah.
You know it. Medicine is also intuition.
Yes.
And a very important part of medicine is intuition. And I feel that maybe the curricula is squeezing out the intuition of the individuals who are doctors.
Yeah, so there is a chance for some subjectivity, it means?
Yes. Science is not objective. And medicine is not a pure science. Medicine is a science of uncertainty.
Yes.
Because we're dealing with humans. We're dealing with people with different problems, with different, subjectivity, of course. You're human, I'm human.
Sir, in your previous talks, which I have gone through,
Yeah.
I heard you saying you have a affinity towards India, you have been fascinated by India, and you visited India some time ago when you were a teen.
Yeah.
So could you please tell us about that experience when you visited India? What kind of experience was that? And which part of India or which culture of India that fascinates you the most?
Well, I think India changed my life when I was 17. I arrived in New Delhi on Christmas Day, and I think it changed my life because it changed my way of thinking. I went back to school afterwards, and I thought, and I wasn't the same. India has that effect. Because India is, and when you say what culture or what part of India, I think no, it's the multiplicity of cultures, the multiplicity of peoples, of religions, of cultures, of languages, the colors, the richness of the colors, the smells, the food. I mean, I'm feeling really privileged now to be eating the food. The food is fantastic. I came here because my father had been made an honorary member of the association, Indian Association of Surgeons. We went to Bihar, and I went in the times of the dacoits and the queen of the dacoits in Bihar, and I was on the train to Varanasi, from Patna to Varanasi, and for me it was exciting, 17-year-old, and I was thinking, maybe we get attacked by the bandits. So it was a big experience for me. And I have never lost this love of India as well, because my father came on many, many occasions and made many friends in India. And I've read a lot of Indian writing, well, in English, as translation in English. Amitav Ghosh, R.K. Narayan. What made the biggest, I enjoyed Chennai, Madras, Varanasi probably made one of the biggest impacts on me, because I was on the Ganges, and everyone was listening to the cricket, and India were playing England in the cricket, so I was fascinated.
Okay.
But India is an experience through the ears, through the eyes, through the mouth, an experience that changes you. So I'm so happy
I'm so
that
delighted.
you have invited me
I'm
back.
so delighted to know that you are in love with India, and we are in love with your principles. So talking about India, India has deep roots of humanism and wisdom in its own ancient healing practices. But for some reason, these practices could not reach the global world or maybe the bigger platforms. What do you think? What should be the reason for this? And how can we take it forward to the entire globe or something?
I think things are changing. And I think people are beginning to understand that what was happening in India thousands and thousands of years ago, or in Greece, or in China, it's the ancient cultures had so many things right because they were thinking about the person as a whole and not about the person as a toenail. I'm exaggerating. But nowadays the super specialization means that one doctor looks at the knee and maybe the problem is in the back, but the doctor, no, the knee, and the other doctor says, no, it's the finger. It's not, it's the person. So I think that this is important to teach the world. And there are many things I'm beginning to see that Indian historical knowledge, I would say wisdom. You said wisdom at the beginning.
Yeah.
Wisdom is different from knowledge. Knowledge you can get from your mobile telephone. Wisdom I get by learning from my experience of meeting people, or speaking with you, or speaking with others. If we hear the stories of the patients in India, the narratives, I think this would be very rich for the Western world. They could learn a lot. They could learn a lot and listen to what you have been doing for thousands of years.
So
I have no doubt.
I must say we are privileged to be residing in this country, belonging to this country, and we are getting exposure to such narrative stories of the patients, and I hope to learn more and more from this ancient healing things that we have in place in already. So coming to that, you have been traveling to various countries with this mission of doctor as a humanist. So what are your experiences?
My experiences are that every country has their particular customs or cultures or ways of treating each other, but there is an ingrained need to connect with other people, and I think I come from England, so I think even though we are not in Europe anymore, I think there's this tendency for Eurocentricity, and I think we need to learn from everybody around the world, their different experiences, and they can help us. And I also think that we lost the experience of the indigenous peoples. And the indigenous people's knowledge or wisdom, there's a better word, wisdom, is something that we should learn from again or relearn, because they have this connection with the earth, a connection with the natural world, with the animals, with everything. So I've learned lots of things, going to Russia, going to Portugal, going to Samarkand in Uzbekistan, but I'm only beginning. I'm only beginning, and I would like to learn so much more.
That's so humble of you, sir, to say that you are only beginning in spite of accomplishing so many things altogether till now.
I'm starting. I'm a beginner.
Sir, our Vedic prayer in India, it says that Sarve Santu Niramaya, which literally means may everyone be healthy. So we have this very ancient prayer, which means that everybody be healthy, let everyone be healthy. So how can we implement, or how can we use humanism or the message of humanism to the world to make this happen truly? And what hope of the future can you see with this humanism?
Well, everybody's going to be sick sometimes, but this desire to be healthy, and a doctor, the word in English comes from docere, to teach. So doctors can teach, have the ability to teach. And I think one of the important, most important lessons we can learn is about looking after yourself. So eating well, being in contact with nature, having a good social life, meeting people, basically preventive medicine. Education and preventive medicine. Now, education and preventive medicine are the, let's say, at the back of the queue. Why? There's no money in it. There's no money in education or preventive medicine. But it's so much easier to teach people to look after themselves, and this is so much better in the long run. And I'll tell you a very curious thing. You know, in the book Humanism and Surgery, my father was a surgeon, but I said, when he was elderly, I said, would you become a surgeon again? And he said, I'd loved my career as a surgeon. I would be going to global health and preventive medicine, because you can touch more people. And this is humanistic.
Oh, great to know that. And one thing that I had asked you about, what hope for the future you have with this practice of humanism?
I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful. Well, if I have moments of doubt, this is natural. If you don't have moments of doubt, you are not a really true human. You're not a human being. You don't have emotions. So I have lots of doubts. But I also have hope. Coming here gives me great hope. Meeting everybody here gives me great hope. And we're coming into a moment with artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence can be a catalyst or a trigger for a more humanistic medicine. So it can either rehumanize or dehumanize. How? There's an example of a student of mine now who's working in a company where the artificial intelligence will take away the administrative chores of the doctor. So the doctor won't be looking at the computer.
Exactly.
The doctor will be looking at the patient while the artificial intelligence is making the transcript.
Great.
This is hope. This is the use of technology to make medicine more humanistic. We need to be there, and we need to be input our ideas into these new advances in technology, which are not new.
You gave me this new vision of looking at AI. Like, we used to see at AI as if AI is replacing humans or what, but now I am sure that it is not replacing the humanism, rather it is strengthening it, isn't it so?
It's a balance. Everything is a balance. It's a complement to the human touch. It's a complement. As long as we make sure we make it a complement. So it's a double-edged sword, like Damocles, with a double-edged sword. We need to be careful, but we need to be positive.
Sir, talking to you is being a really great feast for me. Just one last small question. What one piece of advice would you give to the doctors who are watching this podcast?
The doctors who are watching this podcast. Imagine if the person you see in front of you is yourself. How would you like to be treated?
Yeah, that's so simple to reflect upon, right? Just,
I could say more things, but
yeah, but that was very apt to say that, because if somebody wants to be treated like that way, treat the same way to the others, isn't it so?
yeah, I think so.
That's really great to know. Thank you so much, Professor Jonathan sir, for joining with us for this podcast, and looking forward to more such conversations in future. And thank you for all the enlightenment, all the wisdom that you have shared with us and with our audience. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
It's been beautiful speaking with you. Thank you very much.
Same here, sir. Thank you.